5177, push Alpha through. Skyless 5691, give way to that Virgin America coming off the runway after left.
Right. Yeah.
Bravo, I'm going to 45, we're going to 51 Bravo.
59G5, excuse me, 1945, taxi Bravo, Golf Alpha.
Bravo, Golf Alpha, I'm 1945.
Hey, and welcome back. I'm Rob, aka ShipDriver71, and we are on approach to Flightbeam San Francisco International HD version 2.0 in the iFly 737 NG. Of note, we are also flying over ORBX's FTX Northern California region, and we'll go by the ORBX San Carlos Airport, which does add a great deal of photo textures of the sloughs at the southern end of San Francisco Bay. My PC, which is based around a Ryzen 7 1800X CPU, is still not overclocked, so I had to throttle the settings quite a bit to get some of the smoothness over this area, which is very intense with add-ons from ORBX and Flightbeam. So Autogen is only at normal, Ultimate Traffic Live Airliner traffic is only at 35%, and GA is at 0%. I also reduced special effects to medium and scenery complexity one notch from max. Because it is evening, I could dispense with a lot of the shadows and only have cast receive set for my own aircraft and for sim objects. I also locked frame rates at 24, and it did hold there quite well, only dipping below when looking at the San Carlos KSQL scenery. Now, importantly, I did keep dynamic lights on because the iFly's landing and taxi lights are dynamic lights. So if dynamic lights were turned off, I would lose those lights. As I taxi to my gate later on, one can see the effect of dynamic lights very well, and I really like it. One thing I've discovered about dynamic lights is that if you see reduced frame rates with them on, just spin around 360 degrees with the hat switch and frames will come back up. Now, I typically use FS2 Crew for my 737 flights, but I simplified things here and did everything myself since this flight was more about what I needed to do to get decent performance in this very challenging add-on environment. In particular with my new graphics card, a 1070 Ti. I was surprised how much of a performance improvement I did get with that 1070 Ti, although with it installed I am most definitely CPU limited now. I will play around with some mild overclocks later on, but right now is it at the stock 3.6 GHz for the 1800X. Now, I had the original Flightbeam KSFO for FSX and for P3D 2.5, but I actually uninstalled it after a while because it combined with the growing ORBX add-ons in Northern California, were just too hard on my previous system. As you can see here, though, it is fine. It certainly looks great, and the dynamic lights really illuminate AI traffic at the airport much better than the old-style airport floodlights, as well as the ability of the user's aircraft lights to actually illuminate the ground objects and buildings. And actually, when you're in the cockpit, how the airport lights will illuminate the virtual cockpit from the outside. Since I had a 2.5-year gap in flight sim, there were several products which came out in the intervening time which I had never even heard of. One example is Chaseplane. I did install it for a bit in the past few days to try it out, but I did find that it was very taxing on my system, even though I desperately wanted the more advanced replay system in version 0.4. But CPU usage was significantly higher, and stutters while panning and playing back recordings were very prevalent. So for this video, I returned to EZCA version 2, which I've been quite happy with, since it uses much less system resources and has smoother pans, although rather more simplistic cameras, but I do lose that replay capability that I so desire. That said, it means that what you see here is live video captured with shadow play, rather than replay video manipulated to be super smooth. That sort of thing harkens back to the old FS Recorder non-real-time playback, which many YouTubers, and myself included for a while, used to make video which frankly didn't represent realistic settings and smoothness for the various flight sim add-ons.
$500. $400. $300. Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Now, since this was just a simple turnaround flight, after landing, I selected a gate at random for GSX to take me to. That turned out to be somewhat of a mistake, since the follow me car took me to some remote parking spot not even attached to the main terminals. Maybe I should have familiarized myself with the gate numbering better beforehand. Well, I hope you liked what you saw. If so, please like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Before we wrap up, I've got a couple of minutes of views of Flightbeam's SFO, so please enjoy. Now, I do consider Flightbeam one of the best makers of big airports out there right now, and I'm pleased to report all of my airports made by them, which are SFO, Denver, and Phoenix, do show performance improvements in P3D V4 in addition to looking stunning.